Welcome back. I'm Asa Lanham, the Chief Executive Officer of Innovaro, and this is the fifth video in our series on Launchpad Imagine. In this video, we're actually going to start to take a look at the things that happen in Workspace with the discovery phase, and in particular, we're going to take a look at Capture. Now, this video is going to be a little longer than the others because there's an awful lot of information in here to acquire about capturing information and those kinds of things. So I want to take a little time to walk through it. You'll notice up here it shows that we're in the discover phase. We're in step one. This is the normal login that you see when you first come in. One of the things that we have up here is we have a tab for scores. And what we do is we help to keep track of how many building blocks of information you've captured and put together, both on a personal basis and as a team. You can see that my score is 0, which means I haven't been much help, but as a team, the team's put together about 1,365 building blocks in here. Now I'll tell you, this particular team was 3 people part-time over a period of 3 weeks doing this. So you can really get the information very quickly and very powerfully. Right? So let's take a look at how you do that. And you'll see here the button labeled Capture. So if you click on Capture, what you'll see is it brings up a dialog window and a pop-up window, and there are actually 6 ways that you can capture information in Launchpad, in Imagine. And the first one we're going to touch on here are SemBots. And SemBots are a bot that we have. What you'll see here is this is one that I already brought up from an existing SemBot. You can look at all your existing SemBots, by the way. All right? And this was the ones that were used. There's laundry detergent news. That's the one you were looking at there. If you take a look at the status of it, it'll tell you, for example, it was the last time it was processed, how many results were found, who created it, when it was the last time it was modified. You can edit these. You can edit a thing and trim it. You can see here the frequency is once, and we'll talk about frequency. Button to be very careful of is delete, and delete will ask you if you really want to do this, because when you delete a SemBot, all of the data that's been captured by that SemBot will be deleted as well. So though it is definitely associated with a bot. Okay, so let's take a look at these bots. And this is one for laundry detergent news. And this is one on SemBots. You basically point them at a website. This one happens to be pointed at Natural News website, which is all about laundry detergents. You pick the type of information you're looking for, whether it's trends or observations or statements and that. You pick the category. This happens to be on the environment. You can click the button to follow links. Now, following links is important because this says if you find a link on the website, how many levels down should you follow that link? And we set this to a max depth of 2. We find that works pretty well. Once you get into the 3 and the 4, you get off into some fairly strange places. And once you get down to 12, you can map the entire web if you're not careful. We also talk about limiting documents, which is when you find documents on the website, how many do you want to bring back? And we limited this to 200. It actually found 77 items that were of importance. And then the frequency, and you can schedule it to run once and only once. Let's say it's a website that's got information that's regularly refreshed. You may want to run it daily or weekly or monthly. It will only run once a day, but if you say run it daily, it'll be scheduled. It'll run every single day. It'll bring more information back in. And then what you do is you pick the search keywords. What are the terms you wanted to look for? And we looked in particular here for laundry detergent, and we knew because we were in the laundry detergent business that there was a term called surfactants. And surfactants are those things that actually act on the surface of the garment to clean it. We didn't ignore any keywords in this. In fact, if you have listened to our listen videos, you know that it's important to think about which keywords you want to ignore, as well as which ones that you want to listen for. But in websites, it's fairly easy. So that's how you get websites, and you can have as many bots at as much level of detail as you like. There's no limitation on that. The second one is what we call searches. And searches are more active against sources. You can see here you can search against Twitter or Facebook or Google Plus or LinkedIn or Salesforce. Twitter, as you well know, only goes back 2 weeks. Facebook will go back, as long as you want it to. Google Plus. You can also search LinkedIn. Now, if you click on LinkedIn, you'll see it comes up here. It says you've got to pick the profile that you're going to search on LinkedIn. So you have to do that. But let's just stay with Twitter for a moment if we can. Here. And we'll go back to Twitter. And Twitter, again, it's saying enter the name of the search, the type of information you get, search terms. What are the terms you want to look for? And either a time limit to search or a duration. And you can pick those in terms of how far back you want it to go. What's the time limit? Again, with Twitter, since tweets die after 2 weeks, going back more than 2 weeks is really not very useful. Okay, and then how many results you want to see. So you can do that, and then you can schedule it to run. You say do the search, right? So unlike the SimBots, you perform the search here. It schedules it, it runs it, it brings you the information back. It doesn't recur on these in that process. The third one that we have are documents. The documents are quite simply the information that you might have on your system that you want to upload into it. And the way you do it very simply is you click on the browse button, it comes up, you pick on the thing that you want to put in there, say for example innovation bibliography, documents in there, you give it a title, you talk about the significance, what are the concepts, and you may have several different documents that you want to scan and bring in. It will capture all of those. It reads PDFs, it does Word documents, it does Excel files, it does PowerPoints. It does quite a broad spectrum of documents that it can incorporate. The fourth form are observations. And observations are the kind of thing that says, I'm driving to work in the morning, I'm listening to my local radio station, perhaps a national public radio, and there's an article that people are talking about laundry detergents. And they're talking about how people feel or particular new things coming up. And I want to capture that. So I can literally enter that directly. What's the information? If there's a URL, I can say that. I can talk about the significance. I can talk about key concepts and signals and capture that information directly. And then the fifth one that's built in here is archives. And archives basically say, I've got a bunch of market research that I've collected over the years that's in electronic files. What I'm really going to do is I'm going to load it all up into a folder. I'm going to zip it up, give it the name of the zip file, right, and then load it. And once you load it, it's in and it unzips it and it goes through all those documents and captures it. So these are the five that you have. Now I mentioned there are six. Let me show you what the sixth one looks like because it's important as well. And the sixth one, people have day jobs that they do. So let's say that my day job, I'm helping them to look at the laundry detergent marketplace, different products out there, how they're rated, and I come across a thing from Yahoo in shopping that talks about top laundry detergents that have been rated, and we want to capture that because that could be really important for us. So what you really don't want to have to do is you don't have to try to copy the URL, go over and log into Launchpad and do all those things. So we add a tool to the toolbar called Add to Launchpad. And what actually happens here is when you click on that, it brings up a tool for you to be able to add this to Launchpad. And you log in just the way you do normally. This is my login to Launchpad. Enter your password. If I can remember my own password. And then log in, right? And once you log in, what it does is it automatically says, hey, you're interested in this page. So it brings up the page. You can title it. You can see it's top rated laundry detergents. You can write in the significance, what's important. Now, you might want to go down here and say, let's see, what I really want to do is the powders make the most punch, most power. So I want to copy that, and I want to paste that in here, where you can drag and drop it. Let's say, let's just drag it and drop it. So we'll drag this over. We'll grab it and drag it over there, all right? And then it powers like the most punch, key concepts out of here. It's the top rated laundry detergent. Let's say that there's a graph or something in there that you think is important. You can drag and drop images into it as well, and it'll capture those. You just drag them and drop them into the box, and there it is. So you can drag and drop any number. Then you categorize it. You put in the type that fits with it in categories, and you say capture, and it automatically pulls it up. It pulls it in, and you never have to leave your website, so you can keep right on with your daily business. So that's the sixth type of capture. That's all I really want to cover on captures for Launchpad Imagine, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video. Thank you very much.